Special episode of the GameBox podcast. As always, I'm your host, Matt Elliott, and this is my co-host, Zach Radecka. So we're joined by two members of the Liberty University Gaming Club. Why don't you introduce yourselves, guys?
All right. Thank you. My name is Samuel Adams. I am actually from Boston. My parents were not drinking at the time, no. And in fact, my dad's a pastor, so it's kind of irony there. And yeah, I am from the city. And being born downstairs from Fenway Park, I'm actually still a Yankee fan. There's a lot of kind of enigmas and what's the word? Contradictions.
Yeah.
There we go.
How often do people make reference to your name? Like on a
regular basis.
Regular basis.
Yeah. For my first job, when I first walked into an office to get my employment form, I walked in, the guy went, "Oh, you're Samuel Adams, dude, I love your name, that's awesome." It's usually a couple different responses, either "dude, that's awesome," or "I don't believe you because of your license." Or a combination of the two when they're laughing and think I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
Then they ask me what my real name is. So.
Now, have you ever had a police officer pull you over for a speeding ticket or something, him look at your license and think that it's fake?
No, I've been pulled over, but I've never actually gotten a ticket.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. That's good luck. That's right there for that one.
Yeah. I probably shouldn't, jinx myself there.
And my name is Steve McLean from McLean Montages, and I am one of the members of the club here. And I am from Lynchburg, Virginia. That's on the East Coast, for those of y'all who have no clue where Virginia is. And me and Sam, we actually known each other for a couple years now. We were on the same hall together, and then I met Matt and Zach here. Matt actually lives right in the neighborhood right next to mine, so we've been hanging out a little bit. And
yeah, this guy came strolling through, what was it, the snow? It was so it snowed out. I couldn't even get out of my driveway. And I'm outside with my sisters, and this guy comes like trudging through the snow, and he's like out of breath. He's like, "Hey man, look,
know that he lives at the top of a giant hill."
I'm trying to like, we're doing this gaming event. I'm trying to raise money for this, and he like starts. And I said, "You had me at gaming." I signed my name down.
Yeah,
I was like, "Catch your breath."
Sam
this does not surprise me at all.
Here's a water bottle. I was like, "Man, do you realize that it's like death of winter outside?" Yeah, well, I got to get these signatures. I was like, "Well, let me help you out." So that's how I got hooked up with this guy to do this event, and the rest is history after that.
Well, it's like, you forgot to mention the fact that you live at the top of a 20-some-odd hill, and that your roads had not been paved, so they had like 2 inches of ice on them.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, no one had come and clear our neighborhood.
The whole time I'm walking past his house, he has to keep watching me, because every 5 feet I end up landing on my keister.
You poor southerner. You'll learn someday how to walk on ice.
Exactly. Well, it wasn't really the walk on ice, probably the fact that there was a layer of snow, so I couldn't even see where the ice was.
I made that mistake when I walked out to the road and immediately fell down. Immediately.
I'm Swedish, I don't have that problem.
So today we're going to be covering a number of things. We've got the normal news that we usually have for you guys during the week that Zach is going to cover here pretty quickly. And then we're going to discuss with these guys a little bit about their group, about what the charity is that they're doing today and why. And then we're going to finish with, wow. We'll edit that out. We're gonna finish with a fun little question and do some last-minute things there. So, Zach, why don't you take us through the news for this week?
Yeah, okay. So a little bit of a slow news week. Sometimes this happens. So the first news article we're starting out from is on PC Gamer. Matt will include links and such and whatnot in the video and below.
Yeah, once we publish this,
yeah,
and
when we
actually
put it up. So, but for those of you who have heard of Broken Age or Tim Schafer is known for games such as Secrets of Monkey Island, Day of the Tentacle, Full Throttle. These are old classic adventure games and such from PC and such, and from the PC era, or beginning of the PC era. Broken Age Act 2, so Act 1 was released at the beginning of last year. Act 2 now, which is the sequel, or I guess addition really, has now a release date. So there was really some up in the air on when this second half was going to be released. And there's been a documentary for if you were a backer of the game, because the game got started actually on Kickstarter. Had a huge, broke many records. It was kind of what brought Kickstarter to its fame actually, was this Kickstarter for Broken Age. And there's a documentary actually now that's now being released. You can watch it for free on YouTube. I think new episodes are posted every other day. So these are episodes that have aired back. I mean, I think the first episode's from like April of 2012 or something like that. So they're a little old, but they're pretty cool. It's an interesting documentary. Go watch it. So, but you can also look forward to Broken Age Act 2 coming out April 28th. So you can look forward for that. I think the price tag on it for the whole package, you'll get Act 1 and Act 2, is $25. And I do believe, if I remember correctly, you can get a box. So you can actually go to like GameStop, get a box package, disc and everything and stuff instead of buying it off Steam. So that'll be interesting. So apparently they've that's been a big deal of their thing. Has been, you used to get the game boxes and whatnot with your old classic adventure games, and the art style and whatnot and stuff was a huge thing. People will keep the boxes just for the art style. So they've been apparently planning and working on this box art, and so it's a big thing for them to release this actually on the stores and GameBox so you can get. So, but moving on from that, looks like news from about yesterday.
We're pulling up news on the phone as we go
pictures
along.
on the phone, yeah. From a few days ago or so, but The Legend of Zelda Wii U is being delayed. And it's not like small; it's huge, apparently.
At least it means it's going to be better.
Yeah, that's
so.
my opinion. But Anuma, who's Ija Anuma, who's the producer of the game, he said, he's pretty much made this giant article or like letter to pretty much people saying, hey, there's some kind of issues you probably run into, and because of that, the game is going to be delayed heavily. And so it sounds like, heck, at this rate, it might be possibly late next year that we see it. So that's kind of depressing because Wii U was supposed to be the game for Wii U this year.
Kind of bring them back.
A big boost to the Wii U.
It was supposed to be their huge, big sales boost. So makes me wonder now if maybe Nintendo is going to possibly shift more towards their Star Fox game that they've apparently talked about. Makes me
I've heard.
Makes me wonder.
They've thrown out information, but not a whole lot of it.
Yeah, there's like bits and pieces here and there, but it's like nothing cohesive. It makes you wonder.
They like to keep their secrets.
They like to keep their secrets. So, but further on that too is Anuma has actually said that there's actually going to be, because of the delay, there's going to be nothing at E3 this year for the game, which is a huge thing.
Hit.
So it's a huge hit. No trailers, no nothing. It is not going to be completely present at all at E3. So that's in my opinion, that's a huge hit for Nintendo.
Yeah.
Huge hit. Mm-hmm. But like you said, I just hope that means it's going to be that much better. So because
I remember waiting for Twilight Princess. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah.
How many times they delay that one?
But sheesh, that's that. But moving on, we got another Nintendo article here. Is that I know? So not last week. Last week we had to cancel the podcast for various reasons. But the week prior, when we had the podcast, we were talking about this new agreement that Nintendo has with Dina and this new NX console that they're phrasing it as. Their new NX, it's the code name or whatnot, and apparently it's going to be some sort of bridge gap console or whatnot. They've kind of been very vague and really ambiguous as to what that means.
I don't even have a Wii U yet.
They're also like, like they got their big boy pants on right now. They're like, oh yeah, this is gonna put us on the map as far as
Exactly.
consoles.
Yeah.
And I was
they're not
like,
joking
whoa,
with it.
Make a big
y'all
difference.
are
in
making
the
big
field.
statements. If the last like 5, almost 10 years have shown anything, it's y'all have kind of been in the rear.
Well, it's
as
like
far as consoles.
the first thing that I think of when I hear the word bridge gap is cross-platform emulation. Like, I mean, me being a personal fan, I use the popular emulator Dolphin on my PC.
Yeah.
And I'm rocking Metroid Prime 2 Echoes, the big classic Mario Kart. So when I hear that, I mean, you got Wii games, you got Wii U, but one thing I noticed that with Wii U, you can't go in and reverse that. So with this, they're talking about bridging everything. Could they be bridging all the consoles into one universal mother of all gaming devices?
Yeah, exactly. So
I think that
The
everybody's
all-mother.
getting distracted from the huge reality that we're all going to PC gaming. It's all gonna happen.
Yeah.
The master race is taking over slowly but surely. So I don't understand why we're even
I'd
fretting
still fight that.
with any of that.
Well, it's like
I love my game controller, man. I know you can emulate it, but hey.
Hey, you can use it in PC. Bring it with
I
you.
know that.
Take it
Look it
with
up.
you.
But
well, I mean, you're saying how everyone's going PC, especially now with Microsoft's Windows 10. Because especially, I just read an article about sometime towards the beginning of the week, I believe, how that Microsoft has been talking about Windows 10 crossplay, which, for those of y'all who may not have heard about it, surprisingly, very few people have heard of crossplay. They'll know about Windows 10, but not this feature. They first approached this in 2002, but basically what you'll be able to do is connect from your PC to your friends on Xbox. So say you both, I think the first game that's actually being developed is Fable's Anniversary.
Okay.
It's the next
the next
Fable's,
Fable, whatever game.
Yeah, the
I
next
can't remember
Fable
if it has
game.
a title or
Fable's,
subtitle.
Fable's Anniversary, Fable's Legend, but that has been confirmed as crossplay. And so say you're on your PC and you decide to invest that money into that instead of a Xbox One. You'll be able to go into a dedicated server, run with your buds on Xbox, but then say they want to go in and just play Xbox One. There's a server for that, and that is something that's going to become very common, I believe.
Yeah, I mean, Zach and I have already discussed a lot of how a lot of games that are going to be coming out this year and next year are going to be cross-platform games that you can essentially play with people across platforms. And I think that's awesome. I mean, personally, I've been waiting for that since back when the original Xbox and PS2 were out. I was trying to think in the back of my head, like, God, I would love to have these games.
drops a lot of barriers.
The first time they tried doing this was back in 2002 with the first two original Halo 2, I believe.
Really?
Because back then,
when they had it on
made
PC?
them they made it for PC and Xbox.
Yeah.
And so
But then never
they tried it, but it was not a big success just because they didn't have the technology in it.
At the time.
Now they do. Now they have these huge server
It
farms.
was glitchy enough as it was.
Yeah, that is true. I mean, as much as the Halo 2 campaign or multiplayer was, it was as glitchy as Master Chief Collection was on first release.
Yeah, oh, God.
So at least they're keeping it original.
Exactly. So, but this announcement of Nintendo teaming up with Dina. So Dina does tons of popular mobile games. You can go look up tons. Dina has developed so many popular games. You'd be surprised how many mobile games that you've probably played actually on your Apple or your Android device. Like some of these
Apple.
Exactly.
Yeah,
Some of these
I'm
games you
alienating
probably
myself
I'm on
right
that
now by
one.
saying that, but I don't care.
And I'm right with you, man.
Yes.
Yeah, so, but I mean, some of these popular mobile games that you've played, apparently this conversation that they have of this collaboration has been in talks since 2010.
Whoa.
So Zach and I were under the impression when we talked about this. Yeah, we were under the impression when we talked about this 2 weeks ago that this was like a new thing, that they were starting to make the move now.
Yeah.
Which we thought, okay, that's kind of a good idea in hindsight of the things that have been happening with Nintendo. And now we find out it's been going on for 5 years, so we're kind of wondering like what the delay has been, and if this is even really a serious thing that they're doing.
Because they come up with the Wii U within that time.
Within that time frame, exactly.
Yeah,
So-
they released it,
Yeah.
and so it's kind of like you're not really. If you've been planning for the last 5 years to make the move, nothing that I've seen in the marketplace and at E3 and whatnot has really reflected that.
So I think the only thing that even to date shows anything towards that is maybe the Wii U's virtual console shop. But outside of that, it's just like it does make you wonder, what have they been doing? Because it says here in the article, you can read it. This one's from Silicon Era. We'll post again the link in the description. But it says here that Miyamoto met the CEO for Dina back in 2010.
Pause.
And, we'll pause it. Oh, it's
You're
okay.
good. We can edit it out.
We
It's
can edit
fine.
that out.
Don't worry about it.
No, sorry, it's okay.
Or we'll leave it in. You don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We could just
You
leave
never
this
know.
in.
Yeah, just leave it.
You never know. But it's fine.
He's one of the
Just
sweetest guys in
perfect
the
example
world.
of show of like what we got.
Yeah.
Yeah, so ladies and gentlemen, we have people playing behind us. They're constantly walking around. So
Yeah.
part of the
So,
event.
oh, it's
And
fine.
it's like actually, and in this corner of the room behind me,
he's gonna pat me in the back.
me, Zach, Matt,
How you doing, man?
and
You doing all right?
about 2 or 3 others, we have all congregated in this one group of Twitch broadcasters.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
All day, if we ever wanted to just switch to a different console or something, we've been
doing
hosting
that.
all
Yeah,
these
exactly.
other players, and it has been amazing.
Now,
Unfortunately, the
the
Wi-Fi
internet gods
Yes.
have shot me in the leg, and I can't do my stream. But that's why we're recording this now.
Yeah.
But I mean, hopefully, maybe we'll have it fixed later. I doubt it.
Yeah.
More like
and
the
in the meantime, I'm
Liberty
kind of
IT
making cameos.
internet demigod
Yeah,
stuff.
Yeah,
internet
exactly.
demigods.
So, but yeah, but no. Apparently, they apparently met each other at a random event in 2010, and they hit it off. Started talking, and they kept in touch for the
We
5
had the
years
same
of conversations. It's like apparently
Really
they've
like
had like this idea.
mobile
It just,
devices.
I don't know. It makes you wonder. So,
Just
but
have
if they've been in talks for that long, though, it does make me wonder, how good is this weird NX console actually going to be?
I just hope it's not like friggin' the movie Avatar, where it's like 14 years in the making, and then it was like, okay, but not that
but
great.
not
Wait, hold on.
that
Wait,
great.
wait, hold on,
The
hold on. Are you
graphics are
talking
great,
about,
but
like,
the
James
story and the
Cameron's
characters.
James Cameron's Avatar,
Yeah, James
yeah.
Cameron.
Not the
Not
crap
the-
that Night Shyamalan.
not
That was
the-
that's a
yeah.
completely other thing. We don't
Yeah.
even
That's
need to
something
talk about.
separate, yeah.
But yeah, no, I mean that was a 14 years in the making movie,
Yeah.
And it was amazing.
and it was
Uh,
good.
Yeah.
And then I watched it again, and I was like, "Oh, Pocahontas, cool. All right, so it's not an original story."
Yeah.
Pocahontas.
I didn't even bother.
I can't look at this guy right now.
The only reason I saw that movie all the way through is because the employee cafeteria where I work, they just kept. I'd come in for 45 minutes and see a different 45-minute clip until I'd seen the whole thing.
And then you saw the whole thing.
And I was
Like,
beating
great.
my head into the table.
Well, this is what happened to me.
Am
Watching
I
the first
the
time,
only one who
enjoyed it.
appreciated it here?
I saw it in 3D at the theaters. I enjoyed it. I actually ended up buying it.
Yeah.
And then my buddy loved it and made me watch it 5 times in a week. And so by the end, I was like,
Yep.
so,
I've been there.
But like, honestly though, like from in there you had me worried because I heard you commenting how it was all right, and when you said Avatar, I was thinking Avatar: Last Airbender, which
That was-
I just
that was-
about
Oh, that- well,
I
that
just
movie,
about
that's-
broke
that
in the
movie was,
chicken boots to
well,
get my
How are
money
you going to
back.
mess up a guy's name? Like, it's not like you took the story from a book. You
I
took
know.
it from a show that's
That
already
movie,
pronounced.
that movie's one of those places where we learn the lesson: never say it can't get worse, because it can,
Because it can.
and it will.
It can get much worse.
It was like their problem was that they didn't even have all the license to do it.
Really?
So they couldn't
Okay.
they couldn't stick to the
Is that why they
exact
changed his
storyline.
name?
Yeah.
Wow.
Like, and one of the scenes, the biggest scene I was looking forward to was was when the Earthbenders busted their way out of the floating prison. And
Oh, yeah,
turns
they
out
didn't
they
even get-
just
that
stick
was-
them in a hole in the ground, surrounded by Earth. It's
Yeah.
like they are Earthbenders. They are surrounded by their element. Why did
It's
they
an
not
Earth
just
prison.
kick
What else are you gonna
butt?
do?
What me and some other people discussed is like, how come they have to do like a 20-minute dance move in order to do one attack?
Yeah, exactly.
Because that's especially with the
yoga bending.
That's exactly right.
Yep.
Yoga bending.
I honestly think the only great thing about that movie was the special effect that they did for the bending.
Yeah, it wasn't bad. Yeah, it
Yeah.
wasn't bad. Yeah,
Except, of course, when they threw a rock.
that was.
Yeah,
Then it
That
was
was
like,
impressive.
That rock was-
That was impressive. Give him that one.
okay.
But so was that it
Anyway.
for the? Yeah, these are the tangents I was talking about before the podcast. Here we go.
I'll
We're
go
off
with
on
it.
that.
No, we got 2 small stories left.
Okay, let's go
Yeah,
ahead and
all we
nail
got
it.
is so I don't know if you've heard about. There's been this issue from this past week. So I want to say it started about Sunday or Monday, where Kojima, who is the creator and producer of the Metal Gear Solid series, he came out and made this announcement saying, hey, I'm still going to be, there's been some rebranding things with Konami, and so I'm no longer on some of the names of these different things and whatnot and such, but this is because of some Konami rebranding things. And a lot of people are like, okay, so you go in and you look, and a lot of his names on these different productions and whatnot and such, all his licenses and whatnot were stripped, and now these Konami restatements or whatnot and such were put in their place. And then, so people were like, okay, well, does that mean, what's going on with that?
Yeah,
That seems a little fishy.
something's going on
Something
underneath
seems a little
there.
fishy here. And so then Konami's like, don't worry, that means nothing. So Kojima's still working on Metal Gear Solid 5.
That's what I was gonna
exactly.
say.
Yeah. And they're like,
The penguin in my head right now.
yeah. So, but Kojima's still working on Metal Gear Solid 5, and then Kojima himself is like, no, don't worry, I'm still working on Metal Gear Solid 5. We're gonna finish that up, and such. But then it gets to the end of the question. It's like, well, okay, great. We realize you're still working on Metal Gear Solid 5. That's supposed to come out later this year. But what about your future projects? What about anything else that you do at
The
Konami?
spin-offs that apparently you're doing.
You know what I mean? This
Yeah.
giant.
The
Yeah,
fans
exactly,
were all
the-
looking forward to.
Yeah, these other spin-off series that were supposed to, not follow Snake anymore. You had specifically stated, we covered that article a few weeks back,
Yeah.
talking about how
This
is the last
this
Snake
is the last
game, so-
solid
but there
Snake
was,
story arc game.
but there was supposed to be, you said, spin-offs, and it just makes you wonder, was Kojima like, nope, I'm not involved, and peace, or did, some...
They have some
thing
falling
happen,
out?
I
falling
will
out,
note
I don't
that
know.
when we covered this last week, I'm sorry, 2 weeks ago, I'll note that when they said spin-offs, the way they kind of worded it was like, oh, there could be some spin-offs. There could be some spin-offs.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Theoretically.
maybe, possibly spin-offs.
Yeah.
That's kind of how they, so it's like, they didn't officially say it, but they were like, yeah, spin-offs. Tell your friends, spin-offs, maybe.
Kind of like that time when the teacher emphasizes, and A is this, B this, B this.
I have
Now
Sergeant-
remember, A. It's like,
I have
you
Sergeant Schultz
don't
in
need to
my
be a
head.
rocket scientist to figure out what the correct answer is.
Yeah.
Sergeant
So
Schultz in
anyways-
my head. Absolutely, definitely, maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know. That's just weird to me. I don't know what's going on with this whole issue. It's
And
still, even to this day, like there's still like, it's like report after report. It's like, it's almost like it's like
they
a
keep
weird back
saying
and
the same
forth.
thing.
Exactly. Yeah. It's like
They
Kojima
both
says
come
something,
out-
and then Konami says something. And Kojima
No,
says it's almost
fine.
like
Guys,
who
it's
can
fine.
do
We just
better
removed
than the
his
other.
name
But
from
they're
everything.
Exactly.
It's cool. We deleted him from everything. It's fine.
So-
He's just taking a break. Like your pet, it's just resting. It's gonna go to the farm. It's gonna be fine. It's gonna be okay. And clearly, that's not what's happening.
I don't know what
Zach
you're
and
talking
I's
about, guys.
theory-
They're still chums, eating breakfast
Exactly,
together
yeah,
in the
exactly.
morning, every morning.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're still good for
playing
punch,
ping
right?
pong
We're still-
together.
Yeah. Zach and I's theory about that, well, it was more my theory. Zach kind of was like, that makes sense, is that when they discuss these possible spin-offs, maybe
They had disagreement.
maybe
on what
they had a
would
disagreement
be.
about, because I'm pretty sure he was adamant about this being the last Metal Gear game.
Period. I think.
Period, I think.
I think. Yeah.
He wanted to close the series out, and they obviously want to milk that money and continue to do spin-offs. And so I'm thinking there's probably a disagreement there. Maybe he left. He was like, all right, forget it. I'll stick with 5, and then I'm out. And I mean, we're kind of waiting for, like we've said, we're kind of waiting for this stuff to come out, the information. But
I don't know. I mean, but in the article here, and this article is from This one I believe is from IGN, so we'll
IGN.
put the link in there.
The great
The great IGN. But no, I will admit, out of the ones I found, IGN did have the breakdown of what's going on with this the most accurately. So that was helpful. For once they seem to have a good breakdown, which they usually don't. So
Now let's do a review of the breakdown.
exactly, yeah. But they did mention that Kojima, his contract currently with Konami does end. I believe they said October or September this year with the release of Metal Gear Solid 5. So that makes me wonder if he's like, Metal Gear Solid 5, peace.
Yeah.
And
So he could be walking later this year. We don't know. We'll see.
But our last article, kind of a fun one. Usually we try to do something fun or like a serious talking
this is
one.
ridiculous.
This one is ridiculous. So if you have heard of this, great. If you
Did you
haven't,
just say re-lookious?
ridiculous.
Ridiculous.
Okay,
Ridiculous.
Relucous. Add that to the
Let's say,
vocab.
Yeah, add that
Somebody
to the
else-
vocab.
Urban Dictionary. Come up with whatever definition you want.
Contest. Whoever
It's got
can
a
come
root
up
in
with
Latin.
the best definition wins.
Comes from an old Gaelic term.
A little bit some, Celtic or
It's got some.
something.
Yeah, it's got some.
Or I got one.
got some old acid in it.
It means to be estranged from.
Yeah.
Actually, to be estranged from. Yeah.
So, but yeah, so there's this crazy long setup that this guy came up with in the game Hearthstone. So there's this French gamer. I can't find his name. I couldn't find the name of the article and stuff.
You
but
probably
this
wouldn't
article
pronounce
is,
it right anyway.
Yeah, exactly. This article is from Touch Arcade, but yeah, I probably could maybe get it right, but not too well. But so he pretty much set up this giant, ridiculous thing in Hearthstone.
Yeah.
And in the end, what does he do? He played himself in Hearthstone so he could set up a 45-hour-long single turn. Legitimate.
So he did play himself.
He played himself.
So he didn't torture somebody.
So he didn't
I thought he played somebody else and was
Somebody-
like, hey,
no.
watch this.
Yeah.
Boom.
Yeah, no, so
I
he
mean,
set this up
Right in
against
the middle. I'm
himself.
sorry, man. I gotta go to work.
I gotta
Come back this
I
later.
gotta take care of my kid, man.
Yeah,
life.
so because usually the way Hearthstone works is Hearthstone does have like a turn timer.
Right.
So usually at the end of that turn timer, it'll auto force it to the other person's turn. So, but this one spell or whatnot that this one card can do, it sends these 9 bolts, magical bolts, in a random pattern up to the other person's like card or their main unit or whatnot, and but when it sends these 9 bolts, it sends random numbers of 1, 2, or 3 bolts at random intervals up to this unit, or up to their main unit. And so, but what did he use? He used some other special things in the game to multiply the number of bolts that these things did. So in the end, he ended up sending over 236,752 of these missiles to clock in for a total of 45 hours, 18 minutes, and 34 seconds for a single turn.
And I think he said like a world. I think he said an official world record or something.
Yeah,
like
instead of world record, he made sure that it was like Guinness World Record approved and everything, like to set this up.
So
imagine putting
the
that on your
guy
resume.
playing
Yeah,
chess in
exactly.
the park against himself times that by like 50,000.
Yeah, exactly.
And that's what this guy did.
So
I'm
and you
forgetting
can,
his name.
Yeah, there's when we link the article for the thing, there's actually a video you can watch. It's 47 minutes. It's of the you wouldn't want to watch the whole 45 hours.
Or
obviously.
maybe you do.
But,
I don't know.
But it's 47 minutes of snippets of him like breaking down the thing and talking about it a little bit and such, but key moments kind of throughout the thing and whatnot. And it's funny. I watched probably about the first 5 minutes of it, just watching it, just send the bolts. And I'm like, I don't know how this dude sat there for 45. And he sat there streaming the whole thing on Twitch for 45 hours straight.
Can there be
The entire thing without
I actually just completely flaked. I was trying to remember the guy's name
Like-
from that chess game. The person starts with this G.
I mean, can you imagine if someone found a way to pull off this move in a online match? I mean,
Yeah.
I don't play Hearthstone, so I don't know the whole dynamic.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're doing it like playing against like a computer or something, I don't see why you wouldn't be able to do that in multiplayer.
Right. I'm
So-
just wondering, can there be like a Guinness World Record of somebody who sits and watches this video?
Yeah,
47
exactly.
hours of
40
him doing
yeah,
this?
oh
Like,
my God.
Oh, that guy did that in 47 hours? Well, I watched the whole thing.
Yeah, exactly.
So I'm like on the next page in the book.
Only
For the
2 bathroom
reference.
breaks.
Only 2
Only
bathroom
2.
breaks. That would
beat
another
that.
record in itself.
Well, wait, hold on. Could you do it? You could. I guess you could technically do it without any bathroom breaks. You just pull a table into your bathroom and you just sit there for 45 hours.
Just have like a pan underneath your seat. You're just like, oh, sorry, give me a second.
I would have, you know,
Guys,
I would have
I'm
had
hardcore.
one, but that coffee, it got me.
No, no worries. What if you had some Taco Bell?
Oh, God.
America, I just ate Taco Bell like 2 weeks ago, and it gave me almost a week's worth of food poisoning.
There you
So,
We have the rod at Liberty.
Confirming the fact
well,
that I
no,
shouldn't eat Taco Bell.
I think the dining hall
Guys,
never
it's been
destroyed me
several
unless I eat
years.
the Asian food.
Yeah.
Because they load that
So
stuff
it
with MSG and all that.
So, but yeah, that's
Good
that.
stuff. Great
Of
stuff.
course.
What makes it good? Yeah, flavorful.
5 stars.
Yeah, that's what
So
I put
that's so that was
That's the last story.
that's the last story. Okay,
Yeah, so that's our
then,
goofy story. I still can't believe the guy did it. I don't know what
please
convinced
check
him.
out
like,
the video. Watch
it's,
like
yeah.
the first
I-
exact
Yeah,
I
like
know
watch
people
like
who would do
after like the
that.
first
Yeah.
like 5 minutes. If you like, granted, it does suck because it doesn't have subtitles on it right now, and he speaks in French throughout the entire video. Some people like that, they'll speak in English when they do these things.
Yeah.
But he speaks in French. I mean, granted, I'm able to understand a little bit of it because I do speak French. But yeah, I even struggle. I struggle with it. I struggled
I
with it.
didn't know this.
I got nothing.
Yeah.
Did not know this.
So
Spanish,
yeah,
not Frenchman.
I struggled with it a little bit. So understanding him, he's you know, I don't know, I'm not
Wait,
pretty
wait.
good at understanding.
So it
fluent
lasted
people,
how
so-
long?
45 hours,
hours.
18 minutes,
Was
and
it
34 seconds.
actually effective, or did it just last a long time?
It just lasted a
It
long
just
time.
like
It was all
it's
one.
like a-
yeah.
it was
In
like
the
dominoes,
end
dude.
thing, the end thing kills. If I remember correctly, the end thing that's what like the end of the game. Like that thing
Yeah.
ends the
So
game.
it does
because-
actually end
does
the game.
actually
Yeah, but
work.
because the way the thing
Okay.
works, like it has like it's essentially it was taking the original spell, and but then like because he has like all these minions, but the minions will like if one triggers it, it triggers the other, triggers the other, triggers the other. They all play off each other, and so but he used a multiplier on the original one, and then because it was triggering for each one, it was multiplying for each one, so it like
Yeah.
almost like exponential scale, like woo. And so
Okay.
in the end, it's
So it was actually
How did he
effective.
not
'cause
break the
yeah.
internet?
My mind's
I
going
don't
back.
know,
My
yeah.
mind's going back to Pokemon, like the original Pokemon Red and Blue versions.
Exactly,
When you're
yeah.
using Tackle and a Metapod with Harden
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
for like an hour.
Yeah.
You're like,
you
come
get-
on, damn it.
One
work.
HP, 1 HP. Come on.
Darn it, I'm out of PP.
Well, that makes me think of that. It's I think it's called like Pokemon in Real Life. So it's a series on YouTube, and then the whole time the guy is getting ticked off because this dude he's fighting is just using Metapod hard
Yeah,
enough.
yeah,
You gotta go VG Cats with super effective.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
So leave it to the French to do something like that. I mean, that's my last
I mean,
remark.
all right, the French they can't get a decent military, but they can set a world record for a video game.
Yeah.
They had some good scientists back then. I'll give them that.
Hey,
Yeah, they-
scientists, there you go.
Yeah.
Scientists that we're not even gonna dive into that.
We're not.
Yeah.
That's
Spend
another
all
We're
this-
gonna spend all the tangent
But,
time.
That rabbit trail goes into
so,
Wonderland.
moving on from that, that covers the gaming aspect. Well, the
news
aspect
aspect,
of
yeah.
this podcast for this week. We're gonna actually talk to these guys a little bit, get a little more personal info about them. They introduced themselves at the beginning of the podcast. Once again, we are at Liberty University, which is located in Lynchburg, Virginia. What year are you guys?
Well, all right, I'll start off, I guess.
Were you trying to signal?
You're already
Yeah,
talking.
I tried to-
You're already talking.
Start
So it's just
him
like
first.
go for it.
I
Do
was trying
him
to- I was
first.
trying to signal
I
you
don't
something
know
that we
what
had
to say.
that last little tidbit of information. Remember?
That's
Uh,
Saturday.
Oh
the
yeah,
whole
yeah,
thing.
sure. Go ahead with
Yeah.
your.
Oh yeah, sorry. Okay,
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
completely spaced.
All right.
Yeah.
Well, maybe we shouldn't edit out this stuff. Just
Heck
let's
no,
go
we're gonna go
stuff
straight
Well,
to
now
it.
you said that. You lit it up
It
that.
adds to the
But,
flavor of the podcast.
Yeah.
Just, I mean, on the spot, we do.
I
stuff
mean,
all the
if
time.
we had been
fly,
streaming,
so-
It adds entertainment and comic.
Just go ahead.
Go with it.
Well, ever since I first started playing Halo back with the first gen consoles, and back then I had never even heard of a parody. The very first one I started watching was the hit show by Rooster Teeth called Red vs. Blue. Now, if you do not know what Red vs. Blue is, you have probably been hiding
Yep.
under a rock, so you need to crawl out of that.
Shut up, Caboose.
Plug into YouTube for a week and educate yourself.
Stop.
But about, I want to say 3 weeks ago, they made a really big announcement. For a while now, Red vs. Blue has shared the channel with Rooster Teeth, so you've had all their RWBY, Achievement Hunter, all shuffled in there.
Let's play.
They announced 3 weeks ago that not only is Red vs. Blue getting its own channel, which it's already online, but they've also been posting every season up until the release of season 13, which is starting in May or June, I believe.
Oh, really?
And now you're wondering, so what? They've had seasons 1 through 5 on YouTube forever.
Yep.
Yeah.
They are putting them in 1080p HD. So you're basically going to be able to watch and these aren't the episodes
The
that you
original
see.
Blood Gulch.
Yeah,
So now you
on
can-
DVD. These have the DVD edits in them, so
Oh,
you get
okay.
all the extra clips, which
That's
some of them
nice.
are actually pretty interesting. They help tie in a lot of the stuff that you saw from the web series.
Now you
story
get to
that's
see them
there.
repair a
Yeah.
tank with a plasma pistol in HD.
Yeah.
Every
Wow,
little green
way,
flash.
way to be a party pooper there, man.
Yeah.
But
Says let there be
and
cake.
Speaking of this, like if you haven't seen the season 13 trailer, there's a spoiler alert. It basically starts off. You got Church talking in the background about the war that they had in season 12 and how they resolved it and basically pledged to beat the crap out of anyone that came to that planet to try and take it over. And they play through it. He's talking about his time with the teams, and then the sentence that was heard around the world. This started a firestorm, but he said, but his closing statement is, after all, this is the story of how I died.
Oh,
Which,
interesting.
me and about a million other people instantly thought, what the crap? They are killing off Church. So now you've got all these people who are threatening to
What's
go
that?
to war.
But
over
Church
that.
is an AI.
Yeah.
He just-
He's a
Well,
robot.
he's a reincarnation of the original AI. Because
Well,
if you'll remember that the original Church was destroyed in an EMP blast back at the end of season 8?
But he's
like that.
Yeah.
not human though.
But so you got all these people who are just thinking, oh crud, they're going to kill him off. However, it kind of hit me the next day that season 13, it may be a kind of a look back at all the season prior to it, because like you said, Church has died before. He's an AI, and so one of the series that I've got about it personally is that they're going to be tying in all the events from the past and shedding some little tidbits on that as they go through this next season.
So that's why they release everything. They want to make sure you're
Yeah.
caught up to date. So you're. That makes
And,
sense.
and that, like I said, that release only supports it. I actually hadn't even thought of that till you just mentioned it, so that's a good observation.
Yeah.
Same here.
So definitely check that out. I mean, I'm a huge Rooster Teeth fan. I've been watching
Same
it
here.
since it's been around. My uncle actually watches it too, which is pretty
My
cool.
best
My
friend
dad
breathes red and blue.
All right, real quick, starting with Matt. If you had to just pick one episode that is your favorite, what would it be?
Probably when the meta kicks the shit out of everybody. I have to say that was very enjoyable. Partly because it's cool that they got the licensing to do the CGI
Yeah.
scenes. Which
That was.
I really enjoyed. Some people kind of complained about it, but I enjoyed that, and I hope to see more of it. They kind of didn't have as much of it this last season, but yeah, that was it was a tie between when Tex kicked the crap out of everybody,
Yeah, that-
and when the meta did it. I kind of liked that the meta was a bad guy, so that's why it made more sense to me.
Yeah.
Whereas it was just really funny when Tex did it. I don't know if that makes
Yeah.
sense.
Honestly, I think that's the episode. That's my favorite one.
Yeah.
The tank and everything.
Yeah.
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 That's
Yeah.
my favorite. That's my personal favorite episode.
Yeah, so there you go.
I was probably gonna go with when Caboose and I can't remember which other guy was it. Church was the other one. End up in Beaver Creek.
Oh,
with all the red versus
Caboose and
blue.
Sarge.
It was Sarge.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, Caboose and Sarge end up in Beaver Creek, and they have all those stereotypical
Zealots.
BK kids playing online.
Yeah.
Rocket horse, sniper, camper. It's a legitimate strategy. I am Michael J. Caboose, and I hate babies.
Well, it's like there's actually kind of mention off Zealots because how they never seem to die. I started getting interested in like how are they still alive? How do they just revive themselves? And one theory that I read, I I'm a fan of fan fiction. I read a little bit of the Red vs. Blue fanfics that are out there, and this one guy named Big Z, he did this story called Love Red vs. Blue Style 2, in which it basically brings in a whole nother Blood Gulch team, and they have couples and everything, but they end up getting teamed up with the Zealots, and they discover that the Zealots were part of a ROTC program by Freelancer, in which they were the healing unit.
Did they get their college tuition for that?
I don't know, but they find out the reason that they're kids, they are permanently youths. They do not age for some reason. And the reason that they don't die is because the Freelancer program used the healing unit that you see with York in the Freelancer saga. They beta tested that on them, and so due to repeated exposure, not only are they able to just revive themselves and make useful, they're also just bat crazy.
Ladies and gentlemen, the plot for the show Helix. If y'all been watching that, that's sorry, but that's like the same plot.
I haven't heard of that, so elaborate a little bit.
Well, it's like there's like it involves science. The CDC.
Everything's with science.
Yeah, science. And it's got the CDC in it, and it involves this virus that's it's basically a zombie virus. We find out a company that is basically the same as it's the plot for Resident Evil, honestly. You've got except for the corporate heads are all immortals.
Yeah.
So,
and every time someone dies a grotesque way, it's playing happy music from Hawaii.
Yes, that is true. I think there was a little Tiny Tim thrown in there at one point too.
I don't even know. Just like, what the heck?
So definitely check out the Red vs. Blue stuff. Moving on from there, we actually want to talk about. So I got a little ahead of myself. Obviously, Steve wanted to talk about that stuff. So going back, we want to ask you guys. So we're at Liberty University. You guys are juniors, right? You're something.
More or less.
You don't.
I go with
you don't
junior or senior, whichever one's more useful at the time.
Okay.
But my year is junior.
Okay. All right. I can dig that. And you're.
And I'm a junior as well.
Right.
Yes.
Okay. Now, what are you guys studying?
I'm in software engineering, so computer science major, math minor.
Nice.
Awesome.
I had originally wanted to be a computer sciences major. However, due to the fact that me and math are like oil and water and that we do not mix, I decided to settle on a advertising major.
Okay.
That's not bad.
Awesome. And why Liberty University? The question everybody's wondering.
Yeah. I wanted to go to a Christian college and not have to deal with co-ed dorms and, trying to dodge puddles of puke every Monday to get to class, things like that. And Liberty
I know about that.
best fits my... Liberty best
We're
fits
familiar with
my...
that. I may have been involved with a couple of those, but...
Sorry.
Let me not get started on that story.
For those of you that know me that tune into this, you know exactly what I'm talking about, and you're probably rolling on the floor right now.
Oh boy.
But Liberty best fit my views and could offer by far the most. And my older brothers actually already went here, so I already knew it at the back of my hand.
Okay, there you go.
That's nice.
And I didn't even know my middle brother was going here when I decided to, but yeah.
Also, the fact that you get a bachelor's degree in 4 years also helps.
Yeah, I applied to Stanford. I was getting stuff from Stanford, and I applied to MIT too for the heck of it. But I just get some miscommunication, and I missed the timing for the physics subject test. So that may have been a problem.
Oh, that was today. Oh.
No, I went the right day.
Oh, okay.
I had two subjects at the same day, but I got a later time than when it actually started. So I showed up, I missed it, and I only got one of them, and I was like, I guess I'm going somewhere else.
Liberty, all right.
My uncle even works there, but yeah.
Now, Steve, what about you?
Well, I went to Liberty Christian Academy, which, for those of you who are not from the Berg, as we call it, it's a high school that is directly affiliated with the university. And they changed it about 2 years ago, but when I graduated, they had a scholarship program where if you did your 9th through 12th grade year at LCA, as we call it, you got a 4-year tuition to LU.
That's kind of
And I'm a
Kinda nice.
anyone who's watching this that knows me, they are going to tell you that I am the most social loving person that they know. I love social interaction, and so I knew I wanted to go to university or college, but I didn't want to move away. I mean, my friends are here, my family, and so LU was really good in that. And one thing that I really enjoyed is the fact that was considering the fact I was on the scholarship. I spent 2 years on campus, and after not finding a job and paying off the student debt I built up on housing, I just moved back home. And so I'm basically going to college for about $500 because all I gotta pay is the activity fees and all that. And my brother and sister are here now. They're twins.
Oh, okay.
And they're doing a lot better than I am.
triplets here. I know
There's triplets here.
They're everywhere.
We're gonna get
We'll have
some
to
video
try
of
and get
that.
them on.
I'm gonna walk around with my phone later like an idiot, and I'm gonna get film of them because when I met them, they were just like, "Hey, nice to meet you. I'm so and so. This is my twin brother." And I was like, "Oh, cool." And then this other guy pops up. He was like, "Hey, I have the same face as those two guys." I was like, "Whoa."
Yeah.
Hold on.
You rifle through the names until you get the right one.
Yeah.
But and they're actually doing a lot better than I did because they learned from my unfortunate mistake of living 2 years on campus. So, but it's like after college, really, I have no plans of moving away from Lynchburg. It's a great city to live in. You got a big. Those of you from Chicago or New York that would come down here, you are going to be miserable because OU is going to seem like a speck on, or Lynchburg is going to seem like a speck on the map. But believe me, there are towns of 150 plus people not 30 minutes away, so you got no clue what you're getting into there. But it's a great city to live in. You got a big enough city to where you can do whatever you want, really. You got GameStop for the gamers, you got a bunch of arts and craft
Whoa,
stores.
let me stop you there with GameStop for the gamers, man. We all know that that's not exactly.
I gotta be sensitive for those that love GameStop.
Okay.
Plus I have friends that work there,
nice.
so.
Okay, you have friends.
Play nice.
Okay,
Yeah.
that makes
Okay.
sense. All right, I'll meet you halfway on that.
But then you go 10 minutes outside the city, you're in backwoods doing hunting, fishing, hiking.
Right.
And Lynchburg actually has some cool features. In fact, we got 3 warplanes from World War II that have crashed in the area that you can actually go and see their memorial sites.
See, we have hunting in Boston. It's just not quite legal and
Yeah.
frowned upon.
Urban hunting.
Yeah.
Urban
No,
hunting.
there actually
Find
is
something you don't like.
urban hunting here in Lynchburg.
That's not what I was talking about.
I know. I just had to be that guy because that's how I roll.
That's fine. It's fine.
I do not care what people think of me.
That's fine.
Steve,
Mine
that's
result in
awesome.
chalk lines usually and flashing lights.
Yeah. It's like there's a point system. It's 20 extra points if you don't get caught. You don't want people to know about your score.
There's even coloring of like the clothes and the point systems relating to what color they're
exactly.
wearing.
Yeah. The
The
more
weight,
years you
yep.
get, the higher score you've got. So. Yeah. So. The tangents, folks. The tangents.
Tangents. I have to be the moral compass.
Jack is keeping us on track.
Guys.
Just like always. Hey, man, we're crossing that line a little bit.
We're gonna end up with like a watch list or something with this kind of stuff.
Yeah, this is the CIA. We gotta watch this guys. We don't know what they're doing. So the next thing we've got, now that we get a little bit of background about you guys and the school, is what. So how did you get affiliated with the club? How long has the club been around? And how did you guys get affiliated?
It's a funny story actually.
Great, awesome.
It's only been around. This is actually our 4th time running Extra Life.
Oh, okay.
This club's been around for 2.5 years now.
Okay.
5 semesters. My freshman year, fall semester freshman year, you have to know our friend Cole. He's a first generation immigrant from Peru, lives in Miami.
Okay.
And this guy, he gets these great visions of things he wants to do, and it's great, and we love the guy. He won't back down from a challenge, no matter how ridiculous it is. And someone made a bet with him that he couldn't get Liberty to pay him money to play video games. And he said, challenge accepted. Now, he found out about the club system with the student government, and that you could get funding for being a club, running events and such. So that was his avenue he wanted to go with. So, and he met me, and we had a couple classes back to back the same day in the week, and I just happened to bump into him there, and I guess he took a shot at me. He wanted to be friends, everything. I was like, okay. And one time over lunch, but between those classes, I found out A, this club even exists. B, he was the new president because the other one was transferring. Right. And C, he went, oh, and you're my new vice president, by the way. And I was like, excuse me.
Boom, here's the match. Congratulations.
One of the strangest voluntold moments of my life. But I was like, okay, I'll help him out with it, sure. What I didn't expect was that I'd be running it basically from day one.
Yeah.
So when he had to go back down to Miami, it was... Technically, we were supposed to vote, but the rest of the board members were basically like, yeah, you're president now.
Just take it.
So I've been here ever since.
Okay,
I've been here ever
awesome.
since.
Well, that's cool. Now, Steve, what about you?
Actually, I heard about the club through Sam, actually. It was my freshman year, so it was about 2012. And I
didn't know you in 2012
or
2013.
Yeah,
last school year.
2013. 2012 to 2013.
Dude, we're in the Matrix. 2012, the world ended. Don't you remember?
Or fall 20.
I met you last year, buddy. Fall
like
2013.
Okay.
On the circle.
Hey, don't blame me. I've been up since 6 o'clock this morning. Okay.
So high.
We're about. We're
run this
We're like past halfway through the 24-hour event.
Halfway almost.
Yeah.
Actually,
almost.
no. We have another hour and a half left to go until we hit
So we're
halfway.
not even halfway through this
It
event.
goes 8 a.m. to 8 a.m.
Not 6
So
to 6.
I guess
8 to 8.
there goes that excuse.
Yeah. So, anyways,
But yeah, fall 2013.
Nice try, though.
And,
Appreciate it.
one thing you gotta understand now about anyone who has lived on a dorm understands that there is a invisible equator on the hall that you do not cross or associate with anyone past that equatorial line.
More out of laziness, really, than anything.
That's usually what happens.
It's there.
And so I just happened to be walking past Sam's room, and I noticed that he has got a arcade, a hall of gaming. Basically, he's got a Wii and a couple other games and consoles in there.
I don't own a Wii, actually.
My
brother does, and it's at home.
It must have been someone who'd come in there. But anyway, so I asked him, and that's when he told me that he was the head of the video game club. And so I was like, oh, cool, I like the game. I had done a fundraiser a while back when Haiti got hit by that tsunami. And so I went in and I followed Sam around for a little bit, went to a couple of meetings, and I just got hooked. I mean, you got a great community here. We had our own Minecraft server.
Yeah, that's kind of nice.
So that was plethora of fun.
I've seen a ton of people playing it.
Yeah.
Just like, there's like 6 or 7 people
Well,
here all
It's
playing
like a whole
Minecraft.
section.
Well, I mean, I'm kind of wondering. I think you saw like my line of games on a shelf.
Yeah, just
because like I was so
library.
busy, I didn't even have time for anything really at the time with physics and calculus and engineering
Yeah.
and changing majors at the same time. And my roommate Terrell.
Terrell was fun.
Terrell's a really sweet guy, but he's a jock through and through. I'm a jock nerd. I'm right in the middle of the spectrum. I'm a writer and artist.
Thank God, another one.
Oh yeah, I know. I know that about you too. Yeah. I'm a writer and artist and software engineer and all that. But I played baseball 12 years, varsity basketball captain. I work with law enforcement. It's all over. And I didn't have any time. And now Terrell's a jock through and through. And he actually was on Liberty's football team his freshman year.
Okay.
And he's always working out everything. He'd tease me because he knew I had video game stuff. I had my 360 sitting on the shelf with a PS2 over it and a GameCube. And he would tease me. He's like, I better not come home one of these nights, go back to the dorm and find you, playing something when I'm trying to go to sleep. Or you tease me about it.
Yeah.
And one time, I never really had time, but one time I came back late night. I was, working all day, busy all day, came back, and he's got my 360 set up in front of the TV. I hadn't even taken it out. And he's got it set up with someone's like Call of Duty game or something playing. I'm like, I thought you said what?
Busted.
So, he's playing COD and
I was just
he's
lifting weights.
He was right
card,
before that. He
please.
was.
Okay.
Oh, all the time he turned to me like, "Is it getting bigger? Can you tell?" I'm like, "She'll be happy, Terrell. She'll be happy." Like he'd be shaving in front of the mirror, and another guy walk into the hall and be like, "Whoa! You have to pay $20 to watch this specimen shave." No. But
Yeah, I played college ball as well, and that's pretty much all of my teammates. So, Steve, you were saying you had a little bit more to say about how you got involved with the tangents, guys. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
It's just the nature
My
of the
bad.
show.
It's okay.
But hey man, no one's complaining. I got no room to complain. So, but and then school got crazy, and so I ended up having to miss a couple meetings. But then I heard about this thing called Extra Life, and I was able to make a couple more meetings, and the more I heard about it, the more I liked it because, like I said, I'd already done something similar to it previously, and one idea I had was, wouldn't this be cool if there was actually something like this that was full-time official, like an actual charity?
Right.
And I had no idea. My mom and dad, they were shocked. They thought, oh, it's just a bunch of guys who get together, self-made group. And I think that last year we made close to nationally they made close to like $3 million or something.
I don't even know. They made a ton.
Yeah, that sounds about right. Because a lot of YouTubers.
Even
Yeah.
Rooster Teeth has their own thing for it. Yeah.
But
it's huge.
in our area, the way Extra Life works is that you get the money that you raise gets donated to your area's local hospitals.
Right.
And in Lynchburg you have Lynchburg General and Virginia Baptist, and with the money that was raised just in our area, we were able to help them purchase a medevac chopper whose sole operation is to transport newborns from the outlying counties, and then we also helped fund the construction of their new pediatrics.
And this is what you told me when we first met, actually. This is one of the things that he told me that kind of sold me on this, which I had known about Extra Life via YouTube.
Yeah.
But that's what really sold me on doing this event.
That's impressive. Those things aren't cheap. You guys
I
really
know.
do a good job here. I'm just I know. So yeah.
I mean that wasn't all from us. Heck
Yeah,
no.
I know, but I mean,
like,
we
even
do
then,
what
you
we
can't-
can. We do what we
It's
can.
like I might as well. I took some credit for that.
We raised $200,000 for this.
Exactly.
Let's see. Fall of last school year, I was contacted by my friend Jack Whistler at Children's Miracle Network Hospitals. He's with Children's Miracle and works with Centra over in Lynchburg General and Lynchburg and Virginia Baptist. And he contacted me and asked me about it and asked if we wanted to get involved. And I thought it was a great idea. It's brilliant. Like you get the people that get up early in the morning and run a marathon and get spun so much for a mile to get that. And then you got the rest of us that don't get up at stupid in the morning, as my brother calls it, to run I don't know how long, and half of us have asthma. And
yes.
And
or as I like to put it, technologically gifted but aesthetically challenged.
There you go.
So it reaches an entire new crowd, and it's a brilliant idea to go for a gaming marathon 24 hours or during daylight savings like we do in the fall, 25 hours straight, to get that extra hour. A whole new gaming community to raise all this different money, and we're college students. We don't have money. You can be. It's not us particular raising it, but we contact friends, family, business and stuff, and we get sponsored through that. And together with that joint effort, we can do this. And I thought, when Jack Whistler asked about it, I think he was letting us know in general to let our club members know. But we thought, hey, why not join together and do one big group event. So it's not, individually at 4 in the morning holding your eyes apart trying to stare at the screen. We're all together in this group.
Yeah.
Having one big group event, getting sponsored by local businesses and stuff. And so we went for it, and this is our 4th time running it now.
And it's awesome. I mean, I don't know if y'all can tell in the stream, but since we started, more people have shown up. There's more people this way, and actually on this side as well. There's a whole other room that has board games.
Honestly,
set up?
it looks really empty, but we have 5 rooms available.
Yeah, so
there's people in 5 different rooms up
spaced
here.
out between all 5 rooms,
Yeah.
and people are coming and going during this entire thing. Not everybody is psycho like we are, staying for the whole 24 hours.
We've got our core group, but we get over 200. So especially last time,
We had like 200.
it was bad timing with scheduling and stuff with Liberty and assessment day and all this stuff. So announcements didn't quite get across. But especially last semester, we had over 250 people total, 100, 150 at any given moment. Right. Even the 400. Now, our sponsors, we get Chick-fil-A donates main trays and stuff. Papa John's is really generous. They donated 20 pizzas last time.
Wow.
20 larges. They weren't able to do as much this time, but they're still doing a lot. We're trying to help them out as we can. And spread them around campus because Domino's is a big presence here, but not so much Papa John's. And Buffalo Wild Wings.
They're right down the
We're
road.
like BFFs with Buffalo Wild Wings. We love them so much. They love us. They're our neighborly Buffalo Wild Wings and our lovable B-dubs. And every semester it's grown. Our first semester, okay, we'll give you 70 wings. We're like, wow, that's great. Second semester we did this. They're like, yeah, let's go 200. And we're like,
Whoa.
wait, what? and a $50 gift card.
Yes.
And wow, thank you, appreciate that. And last semester, I was talking to Shane Elder, who's one of the head managers there, a really, really sweet guy. And I was talking to him, and I talked to his GM before that, who explained that we may not be able to do what we did before. It's getting wing price is getting really tight in the economy, but we're gonna do what we can. And I was talking to Shane, and he was asking me what's going on. I was telling me we're expecting even more people this time, but I mean, you gave us 200 last time, so don't try to push yourself.
Right.
And he went, no, let's go 400. My mouth dropped. I was like, wow, your generosity is astounding.
Yeah.
And they're such sweet guys. And with even 400 wings last time, it was gone in 10 minutes.
Oh, of course.
Not even.
B-dubs.
Not even, yeah. And with only people get so much, but.
I mean, that's
It's
awesome.
incredible.
That's actually, you kind of answered the question Zach and I had. The next one was, why this charity?
Yeah. So no,
How did
Yeah.
you get started with it? So that's
We
awesome.
even get Blue Beacon lists to get involved sometimes. This time it was a little rough semester, but we kept them on our flyers anyway to support them.
Yeah.
But even Blue, my friend Mark Brungard is the owner of a local Blue establishment near Liberty, and so he'll run a separate event where so many, for all the people who go there during that time, say a little extra life, a percentage of the profits goes to extra life.
that's nice.
To the children. So.
That's really nice.
It's great.
And Zach, I've kind of been like, guys,
Yeah,
let's
I know.
keep asking these questions.
It's fine.
And I mean, do you have anything that you want to ask before we move to the last question? Just kind of.
Oh no! I mean, I was gonna have them probably elaborate some more. And Sam and Stevie have already elaborated as much as I was probably gonna make them elaborate. So they're doing great, actually. I was, because we just made sure we put down some generic stuff,
Right,
at least
'cause-
where we could enough towards elaborate.
Yeah,
And,
because
no,
usually
you guys
if we try to
probably,
go too specific, I mean,
Yeah.
the tangents just
they
just
boom,
grow like weeds,
yeah.
and there's no stopping them.
So,
Evolve.
I guess the last thing we have, I mean, so first of all, before we move on, if you guys are watching this now and maybe you missed out on contributing to this event, when do you have a time frame for the next one, or?
Well, you can still
Donate on
donate
your own.
to it continually. That even though Children's Miracle does do it now twice a year, which is convenient for us because we do it twice a semester. The first time we did it was the fall. It was an annual thing. And then that spring, Jack was like, hey, we're doing it twice a year now because it's such a hit. You want to do it again? And
Yeah.
I asked the club members, and they're like, yeah, let's go for it. I went, okay. So yeah, we do it twice a year. And technically the deadline is in December. But we are hosting another event like this. It's going to be daylight savings of the fall.
Okay.
Now, obviously, I don't know what day that is particularly yet, but it's going to be that weekend.
Okay. So, I mean, look out for that. I'm sure, I mean, if I'm still in the neck of the woods, but regardless, I'll be keeping in contact with you guys, letting you guys know. Zach and I will both be letting you guys know about that. If you're not familiar with the website, I've been posting stuff all day long. Please check it out. It's really awesome. There's a video on the homepage that kind of explains how they got started. It is a beautiful video. I watched the entire thing when he first talked to me about it, Steve. I went back to my room, and that's the first thing I did was look at it, and it's an awesome story. And
Found
really,
young girl with cancer.
Yeah,
who died of cancer in Texas.
I mean, Zach and I, for those of y'all that have watched the podcast, we are very we are very adamant gamers, but more than that, we're about the community. We really enjoy making the connections, talking about the stuff that the industry corporate-wise may ignore, or some of these websites that are interested about making money will ignore. And so for us to be able to do this, now I know that my stream, Zach is still going strong, thank God. Yeah. I know my stream kind of fizzled out, but I mean, just to be able to be here with these guys and be able to be a part of this and kind of meet everybody has been phenomenal. And I'm hoping that this is going to blossom into something awesome. But definitely keep your eye out on this stuff.
Matt, like Matt said, is all about community, and he actually, I can testify to the fact that he actually lives that out. I mean, like I said, I just met him one day when I was turning into the snow, and the next day he had me over at his place.
Oh yeah,
playing
I showed this guy the Master Chief Collection. I helped him out with his Twitch page.
By the way, he has a radical home theater room.
Yeah, oh my god.
It's like
your dad makes bankers.
Hey, we built a lot of that by hand.
So I would imagine so. It's very nice.
Dead serious.
Very nice.
It's nice. Pictures maybe.
Makes Best Buy look put to shame.
Exactly.
Actually, I'd like to host you guys, some of you guys over for something.
Oh, dude, that'd be awesome.
Back in high school, I used to do tournaments all the time.
Yeah.
We would just bring a bunch of, kind of like this, just smaller scale, obviously. I still live with my parents. Every weekend we're doing one of these.
For the next 3 years.
All the offices through Liberty I have to go through to make this happen.
And
it's
half the
utterly
time they
absurd.
don't even do their job, which is annoying.
That's all schools, honestly.
Yeah.
It's just bureaucratic.
I mean, definitely this has been an awesome experience thus far. We're still going strong, like we said earlier. We're not even halfway through this yet. I'm going to have a ton of stuff I'm going to be posting this next week in addition to this podcast, including videos, highlights, different things. Yeah. Zach and I had a very intense battle of Halo earlier.
Yes.
That,
hopefully it's recorded at least.
Hopefully it's recorded. Hopefully. The chances of that are
slim
right now. But maybe we'll record it later.
Exactly.
Steve wants a crack at me later, I think.
Yeah.
And,
the random number gods from Catan have cursed the internet now.
Yeah.
Now that I'm not streaming, I'm going to be actually going around and talking to the different people here, introducing myself, kind of filming some stuff, maybe sitting down and playing with some of the guys. So honestly, this has been a great experience. Do y'all have any last things that you want to say before we close out, Zach?
Not really.
I don't think so. I think I'm good.
Okay,
I'm
awesome.
good.
Well, this has been Matt Elliott and Zach Rudicka, followed by
Stephen McLean from McLean Montages.
And Samuel Adams.
And we're reminding you guys to drink up and play on. Take care.